hooker with a heart of gold, prairie nymphs, soiled doves, sportin' women, whores.
Prairie nymphs is very cute.
You're listening to The Oldest Profession. My name is KAYTLIN Bailey. I worked as an hourly escort when I was in high school for no good goddamn reason. I was just super curious. And then when I needed money for the first time, I got into sugaring because I'm not stupid.
I'm Wendy Starling. I started selling my panties on the internet when I was 34. Then from there, made the very smart leap to sugaring at the ripe old age of close to 35. So I do that to help support comedy.
So every week on The Oldest Profession, I am going to tell a story about an old hoe that came before us because it's the oldest profession, so it's got to have a history, right? And all these bitches have really cool stories. So I'll be telling a story from a sex worker, whore, lady of the night, woman of ill repute, whatever you want to fucking call it, that came before us.
And you are listening to The Oldest Profession.
To The Oldest Profession.
You got to keep things spicy.
What's finger licking good? I mean, come on. Obviously, The Oldest Profession
has a history. Oh, man. Look at that. See, we're doing what we're trying to we're so good at self-editing.
Right. Yep. We're just getting in there at the right moment.
We're like, holy shit, did you hit record? I don't know. Quick, we needed like a morning radio soundboard.
Yeah, no, we definitely need an on-air sign, I think, instead of just hitting record and
on
being
Jesus
weird.
Christ. We need hello. That's the problem when you stop drinking at 4 a.m. That is a joke. I did have carrot cake.
You had carrot cake at 4 o'clock in the morning? That's almost worse. Sugar hangovers now are starting to really... It's not a drug.
It is 1,000,000% a drug. And I was watching this thing. It was like the chef kids, whatever, Top Chef for kids.
Oh, yeah.
It's bizarre what we're doing to our youth. They did a cake battle. That's why I ate it, because I was watching the show about these kids making all these cakes. It was a real cake. Yesterday was a real cake day, which reminds me, hey, buy a T-shirt, Cake Comedy.
Oh,
Look
yeah,
at
Cake Comedy Tour. Oh, man.
No,
I'm
this is
drowning in T-shirts.
Actually, it was kind of sweet. And so this is actually kind of a sweet story. And it's no pun intended, huh? Cake, sweet, get it? Who's coming with me? You guys? I just stopped drinking. No, the guy that I'm dating, guys are so weird. If it's my birthday, I would tell everybody. I found this guy that I'm dating. It was very sweet. Mm-hmm. We're both busy. We don't see each other that much. But he was wanted to see me on kind of a weird night, on a weeknight, and I was working. I had spots, and he's like, "Well, when you're done, come over." I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "It's gonna be late." He's like, "That's fine." And so I went over and had sex, and it was great. And then woke up in the morning, and I peeked over. He's an older gentleman. And this is yesterday, and I found out he was getting all these notifications on Facebook on his phone. And I was trying not to, I wasn't trying to,
eavesdrop, but you can't help but see what you see. And it's it's either, someone's getting, it's like finding out someone's trending on Twitter. It's like, oh, is it their birthday? Did they die? Are they a sexual predator?
Yeah.
What happened?
What happened? A ghost?
Right?
Hold on, sir. Why are people posting on
Are
your
you
Facebook
running
wall?
from the law?
Oh my God, are you a ghost? Are you Bruce Willis?
Are you just the latest in this sexual predator fucking upheaval nonsense?
No fuck,
I mean, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you Matt Lauer? This is a very topical.
Garrison Keillor. Garrison fucking Keillor.
No, he's the NPR guy?
He's the NPR.
See, even boring guys want pussy.
It's like finding out Mr. Rogers was a sexual predator.
I
Thank
know.
God he's dead.
I know. See? Maybe I'm fucking Mr. Rogers.
So, right.
I didn't know.
Well, what's up with your boyfriend?
His phone's blowing up. Well, boy, don't use the word boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
I don't use
right.
that to me as a bad word. It's a B word.
Sure.
Person I am fucking.
Bitch is fine. Boyfriend, gross.
I don't like boyfriend. I like to say the dick. The dick.
This week's D.
Right. Yeah. This week in D. That's a fun. So, but it's his birthday, and he didn't say anything.
That's fucking weird.
And I was like, wait a minute, is it? I made a joke. Are you dead? Is it your birthday? And I thought the dead joke should have crushed harder. So if you're listening, I know he listens.
Well, if he's an older gentleman, it might be too close to home.
Oh yeah. Oh God, I didn't even think about that.
Are you dead yet? What?
Are you dead, or is it your birthday? Can I have your wallet?
Oh God.
But yeah, so that was very sweet. And so then, in honor of his birthday, I ate cake at 4 a.m. alone. That's how I justified it. I'm like, well,
found it.
See, I was very upset. I'm like, can we get cake for breakfast? And he was like, no, that's okay. And I'm like, okay, no, I want it.
I want it. This is more for me.
So happy belated birthday
to your D.
To my weekly D. And I had cake in your honor, and I'm so sorry. if my jeans are tight when I see you in a couple days.
Whatever.
Yeah, so that was kind of a sweet, but that's why I'm so
sweet.
jacked up. Sadly, it's not for anything cool like drugs.
No. It's not coke. It's sugar.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, worse for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Cocaine in moderation. Sugar, never. Don't
Yeah.
get started on that shit.
Yeah. I microdose cocaine.
Right.
Is that how? Can you do that with a stimulant?
I think so. How was your Thanksgiving?
I was fine. I was here. I just hung out. Went to a friend's place. Low key. Real
Sweet.
low key. What'd you do?
My family celebrates Christmas at Thanksgiving because we are insane.
What?
So yeah. So it's a big deal. Thanksgiving is like a big matriarchal deal. My mother and her 3 sisters, the D's. It's Denise, Debbie, Diane, and Donna. Those are their real names.
This week in D's.
This week in D's.
Weekend Lady D's.
Yeah. They had 3 girls, myself, Charlotte, Amelia. So it's all women, and my dad and my uncle, the only surviving man. Everyone else is divorced.
Really?
Yeah. They go hunting every year and leave us be, and then they come back Wednesday night, and we do spaghetti and meatballs Wednesday because we're Italian, and you're supposed to do spaghetti and meatballs on the day of Thanksgiving, but we're not mentally ill, so we do spaghetti and meatballs the day before Thanksgiving, and then we do Thanksgiving with all the fixings Thursday, and then Friday is soup day. And it's all structured out, and if you miss it, you're disowned.
Friday is what day?
Soup day.
Okay.
We gotta make turkey soup from the soup bones.
Oh,
Even though nobody likes turkey soup, we make soup anyway in dead Nana's honor.
That's nice.
Right? Yeah. Sure.
Now, when you found your Nana died, no, wait a minute. So you do the soup. That's kind of a smart thing to do. Now, do you put like laxatives in the? See, I would microdose cocaine in that soup.
Yeah. No, that's a really smart. No,
because you got to shit out all that.
Coffee's
food.
enough of a laxative for me.
Really?
Yeah, I have 1 cup of coffee and it's just liquid, just goes.
Now, are you still doing the keto thing? How was did you
kind of doing the keto thing?
Yeah, how did that work out?
I'm doing low carb. I'm not doing like for keto. You're supposed to be under like 20 grams of carbs and pee on sticks, and like I became mentally ill. But I'm doing low. I went completely off the diet for Thanksgiving. I did all the spaghetti and meatballs. I stuffed my face with stuffing. I successfully gained 6 pounds in 3 days.
Nice.
Thank you.
Good work.
Very excited. And then I came back and I've been getting into Muay Thai as a form of exercise. And do you know what Muay Thai? It's kickboxing.
Oh, yeah.
Basically.
I thought you were going to be like, this is the ancient form of the ancient art of peeing on sticks.
No.
What is that part of the, hold on now.
Right, yeah.
So that's the exercise you do with keto. So you eat low carbs and you pee on sticks, like to test your pH.
Right, yeah,
No. You only can pee on piles of sticks.
That's your number 1 exercise.
Right. So you're
and
running,
the hovering. It's just a lot of squats.
And then running from the cops because it turns out it's illegal to just piss
on
bundles
streets.
of sticks.
Fucking faggots. Old definition.
Yes.
Right? Bundle of sticks.
See? This is a history lesson and a half.
No, but it's cool. So I've been doing low carb and keto, and I started with the kickboxing thing because like I don't know, like 3 or 4 times a year I got my ass grabbed like in public, right? And then like a couple.
You want it to feel nice when someone grabs your ass. I don't want someone grabbing a soft ass.
I gotta present, man, for that fucking semi-annual check.
I know. Well, apparently all the people that are. I mean, you've got Matt Lauer's grabbing asses. So
yeah, no, everyone's a butt grabber,
right?
Pussy grabber in chief.
Yeah.
So it's a new
pussy
dawn.
grabber in cheek, huh?
Oh,
hey,
that is.
Well, if all these high-powered people, yeah, exactly.
So no, my deal is like I feel like fight, flight, or freeze. I freeze,
right?
When I feel like physically threatened like that. And the weird fucked up part about it is it is actually the safer alternative to like just ignore somebody who's like grabbing your butt like on a public space, someone you don't know or whatever. Ignore that is actually the safest thing to do because they move on and nothing happens. Right. And I think women all over America are fucking done with that shit.
Right.
So I'm going and getting hit in the face 4 or 5 times a week now so that I can fight that instinct, and the next person that touches my ass is getting throat punched. And I have been practicing, and I hope that muscle memory takes over and they stop looking at bitches like me and seeing not a threat, because some of us are training.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah, no, you gotta come. They're on Saturdays. They do like beginner classes for like $20.
I need to do Jorge Cruz, the guy that's making the documentary.
So excited to see it.
That's gonna be fun. We'll plug it when it gets closer, everybody. Chill out. We'll let you know.
In the meantime, just stay put.
Yeah, I posted one picture on my Instagram and I got messages. Where is it? Where is it? I'm like, it's not on Netflix. It's going to theaters for. But anyway, Jorge Cruz, who did that, he teaches self-defense classes. He did it in New York, and he does in Boston for women specifically. For free.
That's great. But the thing is, like, one class isn't enough. You got to do the training because you have to override your animal instinct to, like, freeze like a squirrel.
Right.
You know what I mean? And be able to make decisions in moments of, like, physical distress.
Right. Well,
and I think that's the real key.
That's the key. And that's anything. My parents are retired now with their police officers. And that to train, because it's unnatural to pull a gun on some. Now, if you draw your gun, you do it with the intent to shoot.
Yeah, my father told me to never pull a gun out.
Oh, that's right. Your dad.
Oh, yeah.
So you understand the mental training of, like.
Yeah, you don't pull a gun out to negotiate. It's not a negotiation tool. If you feel just shoot them.
And you have to visualize doing it. You have to go through, because it goes against nature. So you have to visualize following through with the punch and with the pulling the trigger. And this sounds really, but that's what meditation.
Yep.
And as dumb as this is gonna, maybe it's not a dumb parallel, but to compare like self-defense with meditation, but that's why you have to practice so much.
Yep.
With self-defense and then and with meditation and calming yourself.
Yes.
Those practices are two things that go against nature.
Here's the thing. I will say this, though, is like after taking Muay Thai, fuck yoga and its calming effects.
Yeah.
No. You go punch a bag as hard as you can for an hour. And after you're finished vomiting, you feel calmer than if you spent an hour and a half in the fucking child's position focusing on your breath.
Oh,
this shit.
I don't. Yeah, I'm the same. I like with meditation, and what I'll do is like, that's my favorite time to meditate is if I've been up doing drugs and I lay down and try to go to sleep. Goddamn, when I took Molly that one time, holy fucking fuck. Well, that's with meditation, because I was trying to do it, and I like to exercise and I like to be active and do things, and I feel a sense of calm when I accomplish something.
Right.
And I like to burn off the extra energy. And the meditation is good. It's good to focus and breathe. I also justify sleeping in through my alarm as meditating, because I hit snooze and then I take deep breaths and I go, what the fuck am I doing here? What am I doing? What am I doing? But I actually have turned that into meditative practice.
Yeah.
And the reason that you do that, and the same with the Muay Thai, and with exercise and anything that goes against what you naturally want to do, you have to just force yourself to do it on a regular basis when you don't want to do it. And then when it comes in handy is the times when, like you said, you're not expecting it. You get it in your subconscious. So that when you are being attacked, you then have the muscle memory to respond. Defend yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the same with meditation, when you're constantly in a panic mode. And I think this is with human beings in general, but specifically with sex work. With what's going on right now, and especially with sex work, where you're going to meet someone, or if you go to meet a client and maybe they're aggressive to you, or you're like, fuck, I have no money this month.
Right.
And
you took a risk, and the panic sets in, and it leads to all kinds of crazy pants decision making.
Right. And so, but even that, like, meditation was helpful in those times, and in other parts of my life too, but specifically when I was doing all the sex work, like to be able to call on the ability to shut your brain down and be like, slow down your heart, relax.
Yep.
We're on a rock.
Yeah, but if anyone else tells me to relax, they are also getting throat punched.
Right.
That's the response.
Right.
I can tell myself to relax, but if you tell me, I will come after you with the fury of 1,000 angry women.
Between Muay Thai and keto, you're going to be like, someone's going to like brush up against your ass. You're going to throw punch them and just like pee on sticks.
Like I'm all roided up. Yes.
Yeah, that's just like, so KAYTLIN went to jail. It was for like assault /
She murdered somebody with her hands on the L train.
Right. And then she pissed on him.
But her pee did show that she was in ketosis, so we're going to call that a win.
Yeah, and in her defense, she dismembered his body and stacked his limbs up, so she thought it was a pile of sticks.
Yeah, and also in her defense, she hadn't had carbs in 3 months, so I mean, like, what can you even expect?
Right. You want to talk about being hashtag hangry, huh? Am I right, ladies? That's why I had cake glass.
Speaking of being fed up, are you ready to get into this week's topic?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I think a recurring theme that we've seen is the erasure of horror stories and also women's stories. So I want to talk about the witch burning craze that swept through Europe, mostly Germany, Scandinavian countries, Netherlands, from like I don't know, like, it's called like the late 1300s to like the 1700s, right?
Okay.
So it's like the late Middle Ages into the Renaissance, is when we see for hundreds of years these witch crazes, witch trials, witch burnings would sweep across Europe. And somewhere between 40 and 300,000 people were killed, over 80% of them women. But we only have 12,000 cases left. So for 3 weeks
Holy
now,
shit.
3,000 cases that made it, that got documented, and then those documents were preserved, right? Because the thing about history is that we've mostly just been telling like powerful dude stories the whole time. And it's not like women weren't doing shit. It's just that when they did shit, it either A, didn't get recorded, or B, if it did get recorded, it was then erased in later generations who kept trying to tell us that like, no. Women have always been subjugated to the home, focusing on babies, being good wives, being chaste, silent, subordinate, obedient women. There have been no cases of rebel women throughout. And so we just keep erasing those stories to preserve this bullshit dynamic between men and women, right?
Yeah, and then the one that they'll have a few, but it's always just like if you look up and trying to do research, if you go on the internet, well, now there's a little bit more transparency. But growing up, any like female, in like historic female, was just like, she was a prostitute and murdered 17 people.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, there have been some powerful women in medieval history, and more than half of them were whores. Well, and we're going to get into some of them. But I could not find a single named case of a sex worker who was then tried as a witch. But with potentially like 100,000 cases.
Right. But there were 21 where they were all fine with being a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Pay me. Fuck.
So what I want to dig into is use this opportunity of not having a specific case to talk about and to pull back a little bit, talk about like the generational structuring of like how the witch trials came about, how they were used, who it benefited, and what the impact was had, and culminate like looking at the Malleus Maleficarum, which was like the how-to manual on how to get at witches, written by two German monks that I assume were masturbating to this material the whole time. It turned me on. I mean,
Maleficarum? I thought that was like
it means
was
witch
that the
hammer.
third Harry Potter book?
Yeah. It's the same
That's
shit.
the new Harry Potter, right?
No. Harry Potter's way more interested in social justice than these dumb monks.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited to. I love a general. And I want a quick side note because this will be listen up. And I know people that are our listeners are pretty like informed. To all the people
Based on the emails, they know their shit. We've gotten stuff wrong. We're sorry.
Yeah. Thank you so much for correcting us. Quick side note to. And I don't think a lot of our who knows, we may get some people listening to this. What's happening right now in the media where powerful men are being fired and called out for sexually harassing employees, women, people, their subordinates, people under them. Mm-hmm. This is not a witch hunt. So this is a good example of like
a couple of really important differences.
Right. What we're going to describe is an actual witch hunt. And the way that women are treated now is also an actual witch hunt situation.
Well, the way that quote unquote traffickers are being treated now is an actual witch hunt. Stay tuned for the second half of the segment. We're gonna pull that shit apart.
Right. So this is what. So this you're about to hear is what an actual witch hunt is. What's happening now to a lot of these men is called being held responsible for your actions.
Yes, that is real different from being accused of fucking the devil and murdering its we have to get into it. I do want to give a shout out to Maggie McNeil, who is a librarian and sex worker activist based out of Seattle. She's a good friend of mine. She's one of the smartest women I know. Whenever I have a problem finding a notable hoe to do whatever thing I'm obsessed with, and I'm like, I want to find out. I call her and she tells me
really
also,
that's a nice hookup.
Yeah, no, she's fantastic. Check out her site, The Honest Courtesan. She's a librarian, so it's really well organized. But a lot of the information is there. She's a really, really smart woman. She also does not know of any sex workers who were burned, and her theory is that when mainstream or like anti-sex feminists got a hold of the witch burnings in the 70s, because it was really glossed over. The medieval period was just like, it was dark, people, it was fun. We went from feudalism to capitalism, high five each other, we're fucking nailing it, go team. And they completely glossed over the witch burnings until feminist scholars got in there in the 1970s and started unearthing this phenomenon that happened. And Maggie thinks that they may have either glossed over or not seen because they didn't know to look for it, or maybe tried to erase sex workers from the witch burning narrative because it complicated their feminist story about how sex workers are exploited, terrible, victim-y, bad girls. So it's weird, feminists falling for the bullshit of dividing women into good and bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's a possibility. A friend of mine, Scott Poole from the College of Charleston, I want to give him a shout out. His theory, which I think is wrong, but his theory
Scotty, we love you.
Yeah, Scott, we love you. Thanks for engaging.
But you have a dick, so get ready for us.
You don't know shit about pussy. Whatever.
We're going to piss on your dick and you're not allowed to get a hard on. Unless
that is
you pay us.
hard. So anyway, his theory is that potentially prostitutes were not targeted because they served a viable economic function, like tavern owners and shit. But I think that's wrong, and we're gonna get into why. So
yeah, fuck you, Scott. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Scott, thanks, you're the best. Maggie, we love you.
Yeah, Maggie, we love you. Scott, you're the best.
I want to give a quick shout out to Scott who sent me an opinion, and fuck him.
Any listeners, we are still looking for whore witches. So please, if you're a graduate student, please know that this is an understudied area. If you're an active historian, somebody publish this paper, and I'll suffer through your academic jargon and try to get it on the podcast. But this is something, I mean, if any historians listening, this is something that we ought to be shedding a light on, is looking at the relationship between sex workers and the witch crazes and how those played off. The official, what's it called? Not paradox. Propaganda. The official anti-witch propaganda suggested that whores matured into witches. And I buy that on a couple of different levels, right?
Yeah.
Because you're talking about independent women that are bucking the system, who are going to be social outcasts, right? Being a sex worker in medieval Europe means that you probably have to learn something about birth control, right? So a lot of the midwives, spellcasters, intuitives. I mean, hell, any sex worker conference I've ever been to in the last 3 years has a huge contingent of astrology palm readers that are just like amongst us. So I think the skill set of whoring and the skill set of like witchcraft, basically, local healers, midwives, herbalists,
using our mind and bodies to control people and make them do what we want. Seduction.
Right. There's a big overlap there.
You leaned into your southern accent on seduction.
I
liked that.
It does come out mostly when I'm getting pulled over.
Yeah. That I got to tell you, that is my... That is my 20-year plan. Yeah. Toward the podcast. And then, if people are done hearing us, once we get through talking about whores, then we'll just go around and perform black magic on people.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a retirement plan.
It's great.
Yeah. So I sort of see that in terms of like social roles that are played. And so when these women were aging out of the profitability years of sex work, I think one of their alternative forms of income could possibly be spellcasting, midwifery, helping women birth babies or prevent or using their birth control knowledge. So there are other ways for these women to participate in the economy that were a deep threat to the powers that be, and we're going to get into why. So in the 1230s, the Inquisition was created by the Holy Roman Catholic Church in order to combat heresy. A couple of episodes ago, on the Veronica Franco episode, you asked me what the Inquisition was, and I was like, it's the enforcement arm of the Catholic Church, which is true.
Yes.
However, I was wrong.
Also Monty Python.
That's a great... Yeah. It's that. It's totally that. You're nailing it. You're fucking nailing it. But it wasn't created in response to the Protestant Reformation. It was created in response to an older threat to the Catholic Church, which is heresy. Heresy is it's an organized movement that consciously tried to create a new society, and they're pulling a lot from this old mother goddess religion that we learned about with Ishtar, right? So they're worshiping nature. They're trying to refashion the saints into their like old gods that they used to worship. And they would meet at night around fires in secluded places to talk about overthrowing feudal lords. They would talk about the basic unfairness that comes with wealth.
Sleepover talk.
Yeah, just regular shit, But wealth distribution.
Right. Let's do like braid. Will you braid my hair while we plan the murder of a king?
Yeah. That fucking shit.
Yeah.
And there absolutely were like spells, and people were trying to do like all kinds of stuff. It was a semi-religious, like social justice movement that combines, and this is the fascinating thing. Men and women were a part of this, but women led this, right? This is a mother-led movement because it's women who are starving and being pushed out of the economy, okay?
Yeah.
As this transition from feudalism to capitalism, all right? So it's women-led, heretical movement. They meet at night. Men and women are united on this, and the peasantry and the urban classes were united on it. So today, a really common political divide is that city people and country people just can't figure out how to talk to each other. They just cannot.
They just gotta work. They just
cannot figure that shit out.
Y'all are trying to throw your seduction around all the time.
Right, well, that's awfully worldly of you. At Thanksgiving, I spent time on Trey's family farm. We don't have to get into it, but his family's got a farm out there.
Really?
And his Uncle Russell brought me. I got to tell you the story. I call him Uncle. I don't actually know how they're related, but Uncle Russell's got a farm out outside of Winston-Salem in North Carolina, and he asked me if I wanted to get on his tractor and feed the cows, and I was like, "Of course I do. Who doesn't want to do that? I live in New York City. This is fascinating." So we're sitting on this 50-year-old tractor that this guy has maintained since he was just a young lad himself, and we go out to feed the cows. He tells me this story, right? He goes, "There are virgin heifers, and there are first-year heifers, and then there are cows. Heifer is just a word for young cow." And I asked him, "Do you name the heifers?" And he said, "Well, we name the bulls, but we only name heifers if one's really exceptional." And I was like, "Oh, kind of like women in the Bible in that way." And he laughed really hard, thank God. He's real Baptist.
Yeah.
But he tells me this story. Virgin heifers and virgin bulls are the worst. You put a virgin heifer and a virgin bull together, and they will never figure out how to get it on. You need an old cow to teach a virgin bull what to do, and then that bull can go and de-virginize heifers. But you need old cows teaching young bulls new tricks, which I think is a place for old pros and something that we've been doing for thousands of years that is an undervalued asset. Of, teaching men how to make women come.
Yes.
Because their virgin brides don't know either. So anyway, we're doing that.
Hire us before your wedding. If you have any virgin Christian listeners.
So he tells the story.
Or other religions.
It seems to be most of the religions.
Yeah. That's why they're getting married so young and like anally raping. And again, not all, hashtag not all religions.
Hashtag not all religions. Hashtag most religions.
Right.
So anyway, he tells the story from a couple of years ago when he had like more heads of cattle or something. And he said we had 100 virgin heifers. So we brought in 5 virgin bulls to try to deflower these heifers. But again, virgin v virgin. It's
weird
a weird
that there
mix.
Aren't more cow suicide bombers. Do you know? Because
that's how hard it is for virgin bulls to get any action.
Because that's like, look, we have 100 virgins here on Earth.
On
Imagine
Earth,
what we have on the magical
heaven.
cow planet. I was raised in the Mormon church. I apologize. What I was taught, you get your own planet.
So he brings these 5 virgin bulls in to deflower these 100 virgin heifers. Now, 100 virgin heifers, 5 bulls, that's 20 cows each, right? And nevertheless, the 5 bulls spend the first day fighting each other. That's the first thing they do, right? There's no fucking that happens. Second day, all the bulls get laid like twice, all right? So you've got like 10 de-virginized cows amongst the group. Third day, all the bulls gathered under an oak tree in the shade.
Smoked cigarettes.
And just what? Yeah. They were like, this is hard. Yeah. These bitches are uppity. We don't want any of this.
They sat around
anyway
and traded stories.
Uncle Russell and I were able to share a couple of laughs, and I think that shows that the urban-rural divide is not as vast as we make it out to be. But back in the 1300s, there wasn't that much divide because most of the urban population had just come from the peasantry, had just come from the land, and a lot of people that lived in cities would spend a couple of months a year during harvest season going out and working amongst the peasants. So there wasn't a divide. The divide was between the haves and the have-nots, not the city versus rural like it is now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it was kind of neat shit.
That's interesting. The cow thing is great.
Yeah, I love it. Uncle Russell's. If Trey and I stay together, I'm looking forward to more Russellisms in our future family gather.
I hope that you get married specifically to hang out with Uncle Russell.
Specifically to hang out with Uncle Russell. It's not for health insurance. It's just going to be for more Russell time.
Uncle Russ.
So the powers that be are made up of 3 classes. There's the clergy, so the bishops and the pope, which are the largest landowners in medieval Europe.
Okay.
You've got the landed nobility, right, that the church has been propping up for a couple of thousand years. And then you have the urban merchants who are like trading. They don't have land, but they're starting to accumulate more and more capital. In the 1300s, these powers combine and recognize that it's them versus the poor, as opposed to trying to fight each other for power. And this manifests itself in the Inquisition, which goes after heresy as a threat to power. So yeah, that happens. And then the real blow, the thing that blows it all out of proportion, is in the mid 1300s is when the Black Plague happens, right?
Okay.
The Black Plague happens immediately after the Great Famine, and it kills off 30 or 40% of the population. Now, this does a couple of things to the mindset of the peasantry that is deeply threatening to the elites. Imagine like 30 or 40% of people just die, right? So being more aware of death makes people less likely to work. It makes them more focused on family. It makes them more focused on revelry. They're trying to have a good time, and it makes them feel more precious about life. Also, supply and demand economics, you kill off 40% of the laborers, suddenly the demand for labor skyrockets. So what you see is a massive movement.
Oh, that's crazy.
To refuse to pay rent and refuse to work.
Fuck yeah.
Because what are you going to fucking do?
Yeah.
We'll just leave. And so now you have all of these unpicked crops and all of this wandering livestock and the nobility sitting around going
eating
like
cake at 4 o'clock in the morning, like a goddamn. We're gonna die anyway.
We're going to die anyway.
I
Who gives
all
a
my
shit?
rent money on carrot cake.
So that happens.
The eternal toil.
It's pretty cool shit. Now, the powers that be try to combat this with by introducing slavery. This is when the transatlantic slave trade happens.
Cool.
Right? So they introduce slavery rather than deal with all these uppity serfs that think they have rights now. And massive brutality, and the witch burning was a huge part of that. And the witch burning is especially insidious because it divides the proletariat between men and women. If you're looking for more information about this, by the way, I can't recommend Caliban and the Witch, Women, the Body, and the Primitive Accumulation by Sylvia Federici enough. It's fucking great. But the labor crisis that was created by the Black Death, the response to that is violent suppression and the absolute criminalization of any form of birth control. So before the Black Death, you've got they're like, birth control's kind of wrong, but we get how an overburdened mom doesn't want to have like a bunch of kids, but birth control is like an especially bad sin if a woman's trying to hide the evidence of the sin of fornication, right? So they're like cool with birth control within monogamous couples. They're not cool with birth control for like prostitutes, women who are having extramarital affairs while their husbands are gone, or for unmarried women. So that's their position, which is, I think, the same position that anti-choicers are taking today. Yeah, it's fine.
We're like,
it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. We're not mad.
So birth control becomes a crime during a time of especially brutal suppression, which means that we lose a lot of this knowledge. So information that had been passed down from grandmothers to mothers to daughters, like, gets lost because the risk of you basically, as a mother, I have to decide whether I want my daughter to not be able to prevent pregnancy and possibly die in childbirth, or know how to prevent pregnancy and possibly get burned at the stake for heresy.
Yeah, you're like, fuck. I was gonna give her this sweet birth control recipe. I guess I got like a meat sauce.
Yeah,
I could pass down.
Yes. So it becomes a kind of like sexualized.
My grandmother's old birth control recipe. Oh, fucking can you could have seen when we were kids, she had just jars of little embryos.
Can you imagine?
That she'd killed throughout the...
What if it was just let them come in your butt? What if that was just the whole secret for thousands of years of like, just let them come in your butt? And then they just like... Grandmas everywhere like can't say enough good things about butt stuff.
Yeah, how was your Thanksgiving? Well, last weekend the Lady D's was very uncomfortable. We had too much. Somebody spiked the turkey soup, and my grandma
passing down her no baby recipe, which turns out it's just come in your butt.
Yeah, put the baster in the butt. Well, honey, it's a lot like how we cook this turkey.
Mm-hmm.
You take this baster and you put it right in the butt.
So we've got this female-led heretic movement. The birth control bitches are real. Everyone's freaking out about the labor crisis, and they got to figure out how to solve this civic unrest. And so what the elites do, and this is real, is they functionally legalize rape. So they stop prosecuting rape if you're going after a maid, and they turn the bodies of women into this like release valve for the tensions building among the have-nots. And so what they do is the gangs of like 2 to 15 men, mostly journeymen who were frustrated because they can't become married until they become a master, and the apprentice journeyman master
journeymen
thing.
They're like a struggling Irish band.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. They're a shitty band. A shitty band of brothers. And then the penniless like second sons of the nobility, and then like local artisans and people would go and target women that were working as maidservants or something that the gang suspected of being kept by the like some nobility. So like some poor house servant, right, who's like sexually attractive, who's working in like a nobleman's home, and then the nobleman rapes her or seduces her, or she gets into a sexual relationship with her, or that's just the perception, right? Mm-hmm. And so she gets like, a nice cup of tea or something, and then this gang drags her out of her home, rapes her in public, her reputation is ruined, she loses her maid job, and then is either forced into prostitution or just vagrancy. So this is happening all over Europe, and it's a rise in misogyny that lays the framework. This is all happening before the witch trials.
What's going on now.
Yeah, but specifically this ramps up to the witch trials, but this is shit that was happening before Malleus Maleficarum, before the church got like more official. Is that during this time, the church's official position is witchcraft is something that dumb peasants believe in that make them feel powerful. It's not real. Right. It's a form of heresy because it gives, it's outside of the religious belief. So believing in witchcraft is heresy. Whereas after Malleus Maleficarum is published, not believing in witchcraft is heresy. It's a weird transition that happens.
Interesting.
Right? And you can see why the belief in witchcraft would be empowering to the peasantry, right? Because it's a form of power, right? A cantankerous old woman can curse somebody that treats her poorly.
Perception is reality, baby.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
And that's and interestingly enough, that's witches feel the same way about people who believe in saviors and a big mad god in the sky.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, whatever makes you feel better, fine. I don't give a shit. Just don't be shitty to me about it. Well, like that's how I feel about religion and all. Because if you read the stories, and I mean, you watch. I mean, I know. I almost recommended a movie, which I'm gonna still do. But I do want to point out that KAYTLIN is like got books around her. Her couch is all books. She's like, might I recommend this? And might I give a shout out to my friend who is a librarian? And this is a smart person. And I'm like, y'all got Netflix? Y'all got Netflix?
Hey, I do recommend The Ascent of Women on Netflix. It's a BBC documentary. It's in 4 parts, and it's fucking fantastic.
Okay, so we'll watch that. And then my other one is going to be The Zeitgeist, because I'm into all this we live in a simulation shit. Maybe it was too much carrot cake 4 in the morning. I got to go back to just regular drugs. But no, it's... But the idea of when you look at this, when I was a kid, I went to all different churches
Mm-hmm.
and I started reading about and studying religions just out of boredom and reading
Right.
philosophy. And I was like, oh, this is all very similar. It's a
Yes.
similar hero story. It's all a similar kind of thing
Yep.
that we made up. And then when you look at Egyptians and the stuff we've talked about, Ishtar and that, it's all people just trying to explain existence and
Yeah.
purpose and what's making things move. And then they hooked into a couple religions that are big
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, oh, we can also use this to exploit
Poor people.
poor people, women, people of color,
Yeah.
and just get money and get rich and powerful.
Right. So this is something
Yeah.
that's happening at the church right
Witchcraft
now.
makes
So
way more sense.
witchcraft does make way more
Cast
sense.
a spell. Fuck.
Worshiping don't you just want to worship the moon like in your body? Like doesn't it just feel magical to you? I fucking
yes.
yeah. This anyway. The nature worship nature and like there's so much science behind the justification for why nature is awesome as
We're
in
both levitating
awe-inspiring.
right now. Keep going. As we're talking about this,
Doing
our
my
bodies,
pussy palpitations.
Yeah, our bodies are
trying to
levitating. We're
summon-
doing light as a feather, stiff as a board to ourselves. I just want you to know.
The heretical really it makes more fucking sense to me, right?
Yes.
It's grounded in social justice. It's more connected to what Jesus believes, and a huge chunk of the heresy beliefs stemmed from the fact that they no longer believed that the clergy spoke for God because the clergy is, like we learned in the last episode, running brothels
Yeah.
and stealing money from desperate poor people. It got to the point where they wouldn't bury bodies unless they got huge sums of money from the peasantry. So yeah. So it's like, yeah. So the clergy is
just so
supposed to
whack.
do. Yeah.
Even now, people starting to GoFundMe. Someone dies and they have to. It costs $60,000 to have a fucking funeral.
Now just let the body rot. The government will take it away eventually. I promise.
I just threw it up with my couch.
Yeah. Just put it on the street. Somebody will deal with the body. Make it the police department's problem.
Yeah, just
What are you fucking talking about? Don't pay for funeral. Poor people, stop paying for funerals.
right, or just
Not-
drag it to a Muay Thai class or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
That way we can use it.
punching back.
Right, donate it to women trying to better ourselves.
Oh man.
Punching bag,
Huh.
pee sack. Just
So this is an important distinction. We'll talk about it happening. Basically, the clergy is incredibly corrupt, and the corruption of the clergy leads, of course, to Martin Luther. Not Martin Luther King, the Protestant guy, being able to do the Protestant Reformation. One of the major differences when it comes to sex work is that Catholics regulated and profited from prostitution. Protestants tried to eradicate it. And it's not because they're morally better, although that was what they tried to sell during the Reformation, when they were like, we're going to reform the Catholic Church. It's just that syphilis had been introduced, so the association of prostitutes with disease and death and bad stuff became solidified right around when Protestants started taking over, and so they tried to eradicate prostitution rather than trying to regulate it like the Catholic Church. That's just a side.
Oh, okay.
That's just a thing. The more you know.
yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah, it's a neat thing.
Yeah, Protestants are like, let's get rid of it, and the Catholics are like, okay, so how can we make money off these people and capitalize off them? And
So let's get
they're
into
pimps.
the meat of
Catholics
it.
were the pimps.
Malleus Maleficarum is written in 1486. So this is after the 13th century strips women of their rights, and all of this, and we demonize fucking birth control people and like all of that shit. Malleus Maleficarum is written in 3 parts, and it's written by 2 German Dominican monks, and it sold more copies than any other book besides the Bible.
I'm sorry, German Dominican monks? That's a
It
sweet
says
combo.
German Dominicans. I don't know what that means. Look, somebody email me and tell me what. Well, let's just call them Germans because they were real fucking cunts. So, and that's
I pictured like a mad Nazi.
yeah,
But just like
yes.
but with like sass who can
Right.
really tear up a salsa dance
But
floor.
instead of the Jews, it's
Whippa!
women.
I hang
So
out with Dominicans.
they're 2 German monks. It was like a bestseller for 200 years.
Holy shit!
Right.
Now,
So
what's
there are
it about?
more copies of it sold than any other book besides the Bible for 200 fucking years. And it's like every judicial king, clergy, like everybody of that has any power, anyone who's literate is reading this fucking book. All right. And it's broken up into 3 parts. The first one is defining what a witch is. And so they believe that witches are people that completely renounce God and the Catholic Church, and they have, and this is interesting, carnal relationships with the devil and offer children up as sacrifices to the devil. And they believe that the devil always marked his women. And this goes into a lot of the stuff that we still believe about pimps. And this, do you remember what the conservative movement did to Planned Parenthood, where they were like, they're selling baby parts?
Yes.
It's like that.
They believe that.
Yeah, they believed that. So they believed that these mostly older, sometimes cantankerous, sometimes sexy, sometimes whatever, women were so overwhelmed with lust for the devil that just by making them come super hard, he marked their body and then they did his bidding, which is how people think pimps and whores work. They think that, like, pimps fuck a girl real good and then brand her body and then turn her into, like, his sex slave.
Right.
That's how so these ideas are coming from the Malleus Maleficarum and were originally applied to witches.
Interesting.
Right? So.
Yeah, if someone leaves a mark. Hello.
Yep.
I mean, well, that's a mark. Oh, Jesus Christ. I one time, this is a problem. Here's the problem with biting. Hey, everybody, heads up. Stop biting and leaving spank marks on us.
Stop marking me. Stop clients. I know we got a lot of Johns listening, and we appreciate you, and we appreciate your support and you're good people. Don't mark somebody that you're working with. You don't know who she's out to. You don't know how that's going to affect the rest of her appointments.
Right.
You don't know how that's going to affect her relationship with her boyfriend. Mm-hmm. You don't know. It's fucking mean. It's unnecessary. Stop doing it.
Right. And I understand that it's like it can be like a fun, hot thing, but you just ask. It's like anything else. You can still do playful biting, and you don't need to leave a goddamn mark. That is the one thing about now that is kind of, but I do like all that. I do like the bite marks and all that kind of shit.
I got to tell you, I got real turned on reading a lot of this. I mean, if you want to get into the witches, it is torture porn.
So
I mean, if you're into
started writing all this, so these guys imagined it.
Yeah, I mean, like they're pulling it. The Bible does say, shall not suffer a witch to live.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I read the Mormon Bible. It was like a more hip one where Jesus was in America or something.
It was structured like a Cosmo magazine.
And they were
I've seen those
like
Bibles.
10 ways how to really get the
how to blow
devil
Jesus'
off.
mind.
Yeah, how to blow Jesus' mind and his dick.
So they're writing this pamphlet. They're pulling from a lot of older mythologies that have already existed, right? So it's like you're dealing with a peasantry that like does in fact believe in witchcraft, but before the Malleus Maleficarum, they prosecuted witchcraft by harm done, right? So like some old woman would like curse a guy that didn't give her free bread, and then his like dog would die, and then they'd be like, she cursed me, and there'd be like a little trial.
Oh God, that's every place in New York. Then everybody in New York would be a witch, because I swear, is that not true? Every time you turn around, someone's telling you to fuck off, fuck you,
fuck off. I hope your dog dies. Right.
Here's a tip.
So they would prosecute harm done, whereas after Malleus Maleficarum, it becomes not like peasant witchcraft doing harm. It's like just having made the pact with the devil is a crime punishable by death. So it used to be, we'd be like, you killed his dog. For killing a dog, you get 50 lashes and you got to buy him a new dog. Now it's like, no, you made a pact with the devil. We can prove it. We're going to burn you alive at the stake. It's a real difference in stakes.
That's fucking insane. Because especially because all these people died, and so they're like, okay, we need more people. After the Black Plague, they're like, all right, we lost like 40% of the people,
but we don't want uppity people, and we will kill them.
Right. So let's bring slaves in. Let's go to another country and bring slaves in, and that'll be easier to tell because we'll just pick people with different skin color.
Yep.
And then you're not allowed to have birth control, so you just we can. But then to also be like, but then we're just gonna kill women when dogs die. If you have, so you're saying if something bad happened, it's
and then of course the insidious part of this is
like,
that
did a bitch yell at you recently? Yeah, that one.
The other thing that Malleus Maleficarum really stressed, that really raised the stakes, is that they believed in covens, right? So they were no longer going after individual witches. Now they were going after groups of women. So, what they were really going after were the heretics who wanted to formulate this like social justice movement and like redistribute wealth. So they were trying to prevent that. And so they'd bring a woman in, they'd torture her, right? With screws and like waterboarding and sleep deprivation. They'd strip her naked. So now you've got these men stripping these like women naked, searching their body for the mark of the devil, right? 100% rapes are happening, right? There's just no way.
Oh, for
right?
sure.
They're already raping women
By the way,
on the street.
that's how I prep for every episode of this podcast. You just described my routine. I added cake to try to it's like a hashtag self-care.
And
yeah.
Under the threat of torture, they want her to tell them the other witches in her coven. So now that's where one victim leads to 10 victims, leads to 100 victims, leads to it, that because all of these women are being tortured until they confess.
They're fucking people.
Right. And so it really isolates women, not just from men, because now like men are afraid of the power of women and witchcraft and this like dangerous thing. It also isolates women from each other, because now there's a real danger in like hanging out with a bunch of BFFs who are cool, because now if one of you gets accused of witchcraft, the rest of you are going to burn too.
Right.
So it's a real isolating, chilling factor on social organizing, because people can't talk to each other.
Right. Well, and the other thing too is obviously false confessions, and I mean, everyone's not always witch too, but the false confession thing, there's so many tapes that they have where it's not that crazy of torture and interrogation. They'll pull someone in and they're just like, well, now everyone's really spoiled. So we have like phones and we have all our shit up with us constantly. And they're just like, okay, we're going to put you in this room and you only have 3 choices from Netflix and you have to only watch these shows for 10 hours. You're not allowed to binge watch. And then people just confess to murder. I watch that shit all the time where they'll be like, we got to commit, and they bring someone in and it's like they're in there for like, you just take someone's phone away from them. Like, okay, you can't check your Facebook.
You can't check your Facebook. People losing their goddamn minds.
Like, that's right. I killed someone, and they'll just get me out of here.
So, just to sum up what we're talking about, this moment in history, this like 100-year period of time, where we went after witches, I think belongs in horror history. I think that there are 100% sex workers who are targeted, especially because like the fear is female sexuality, the fear of the female body, the fear of independence, the fear of like the 3 groups of women who are targeted are cantankerous old women, right? Who nobody likes, right?
Some people like us.
Sexually promiscuous women, and women that owned property that the accusers wanted. Those are the 3 groups of people who are targeted in the witch hunts. And I think that horrors belong there, even if we don't have a specific story. I'm so confident that they're there, but I think understanding the broad, multi-generational, 100-year evolution of these ideas and how they're used to target women is so important for understanding horror history and the evolution of it. And I want to talk about what's happening right now with trafficking and how the same ideology is being used to reduce the freedom of movement, freedom of expression of women right here today and terrorize women when we come back.
Ooh, awesome.
This episode is sponsored by Velvet Swing, which is a cannabis-enhanced lube that is very nice.
Ooh.
You should follow the founder. This is a whore-owned and operated business.
Okay.
Mistress Matisse on Twitter. So buying this product supports not just your own sex life, but also the sex worker rights movement. Mistress Matisse is a big deal.
Thank you, Mistress.
Yes, you can follow Mistress Matisse at Mistress, M-I-S-T-R-E-S-S, Matisse, M-A-T-I-S-S-E.
Yeah, you know why I feel so good? Because while you were in the kitchen about 10 minutes ago before we recorded this, I took that cannabis lube and I jammed it in my butthole. I'll tell you, not the thing.
How do you feel?
Amazing.
Right? You feel relaxed?
I feel my butthole feels great.
Your butthole feels relaxed?
Oh my God, I didn't even think about this. This would be great for anal.
Of course. Yeah, you can't overestimate the importance of a relaxed butthole.
I love anal already. I'm going to be squirting all over the wall if I put some... Okay, now I do want to wrap this because I want to go get fucked.
Velvet Swing, so you can get high while getting down. And we're back.
Yes.
All right, so I want to get right into it. So on Thanksgiving Day, an Atlanta area woman and her friend, Stephanie Ung, were coming back from a Cancun vacation, hoping to have dinner with their family on Thanksgiving. And they were detained by Customs and Border on the suspicion of being trafficking victims. And they were held there for hours until they both missed Thanksgiving because Delta has invested $1 million in training their employees to spot victims of trafficking. So these 2 women were detained against their will and questioned. And I think one of the
Were they just Asians?
Yeah, they were just Asian.
Asians in dresses?
Yeah, just Asians in dresses. They were just
It's
Asian
a
girls
wonder I have
in
not
dresses.
been arrested because my roommate is Asian and
Yeah.
she wears a lot of dresses,
Well,
and I'm very publicly
now you're a trafficker. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
I for
it's
sure. They would
fucking-
look, I can't believe. Oh my god.
So just to be clear, Stephanie is not and has never been
An
a
Asian.
part
Oh.
a part of the sex. She's not a sex worker. She's not a trafficking victim. She's just some Atlanta bitch that took a vacation and came back, but she was detained.
That's fucking so racist.
Yep. Yeah, it's so racist. Well, because when you when you
God.
turn the heat up, like just like they were like look for witches.
Right.
Now they're like look for traffickers. You see what you're looking for. So since 2011, Delta has been investing $1 million a year to get their employees to look for fucking trafficking victims, and they're just detaining regular pants women.
Here's a tip. If you're a victim of trafficking, the people controlling you are probably not going to let you just get on a fucking plane by
Right,
yourself.
yeah,
That's
but
tip one.
It's a nightmare. So, look, Customs and Border Patrol protection, they're issuing all of these statements, and they're like, the issue is that we've really got to be serious about tracking down on trafficking, because what if they really had been victims? I'm like, no. We're not getting on this on-ramp of limiting the freedom of movement of all women just to prevent some of them from having some sex you don't want them having. That is not the direction we're fucking going in. So that happened, and then a couple of days later, right here in Queens, there was the Queens Vice Squad raided a woman's home, and she jumped out of her window to try to escape them, and she was brought to the hospital where she died. Now, there's something that is happening with this anti-trafficking rhetoric is that they are there to protect women, and they're trying to save women, and they don't mean any harm to any of these fucking women. But this woman was frightened enough for her life to commit suicide out of a fucking window rather than deal with the vice squad that was breaking into her home, all in the name of this bullshit anti-trafficking shit.
Yeah, it's the same thing we talked about in the last episode. It's the concept, how hypocritical it is to be like, no, we're doing this to save you because we want to help you, and we think you need to respect yourself.
Right.
Also, so what are you gonna do? Just like show up with a bunch of guns and weapons and then put you in jail.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for rescuing me.
Yeah, I don't know that helps.
Right. No. Oh, we're going to completely remove you from your social fabric and out you as a sex worker to your friends and family, and then be shocked when you can't.
Right.
It's a nightmare.
So the chicken queen, no, was she
She's a 38-year-old woman. They're not releasing her identifying information, but word on the street among sex workers is that she was a sex worker.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is motherfucking terrifying.
Yeah. It is fucking terrifying. And this is just a reminder. It's like, we got more and more listeners every week. A lot of you guys are sex workers, and I know that you guys are starved for information. Eros is back up. Eros has released a statement that their everyone's identifying information is safe in Switzerland, which, I don't know what to believe. I don't have any insight on that, but that's their thing. They have been asking for more and more identifying information because, like, a lot of the ways that these cases play out is that you'll have like like me, when like I started doing sex work when I was 17, and so I was posting on an online forum, and they didn't ask me for my identifying information. Right. But if I'd been caught, that whole thing would have been shut down for promoting child prostitution, even though I was like 17 and a half, and made my own schedule and like was not a victim in any way. So
the same way a bar gets shut down for serving to an 18-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is that they're asking for all of this identifying information while they're under siege, right? But if they don't ask for that information, then they're more vulnerable to charges of child trafficking. So it's like a real catch-22. But yeah, so they're trying to figure that shit out. But Eros is back up.
Well, but a lot of the I've been on the site, and no offense, and I think we're all beautiful, wonderful people. And I know someone's seeking arrangements. The problem on those, I don't want to say problem. The issue with age, I think it's not so much that it's underage women. I think the issue is like it's bitches going. They're giving themselves an extra 10 years. It's for sure.
Yeah.
It's not some 18-year-old or some 17-year-old being like, I'm 25. It's,
No. It's
just some bitch who's trying to get out of practicing fucking Wicca.
My friend actually, Eros.
Wiccan.
Eros is back up, and my girlfriend was talking about it, and she put on there that her age was I think she said 20. I think she said 30. And she's older than that, but she put 30 on Eros, and she said that she had 15 years of BDSM experience, which is true. And then Eros was like, you can't say that because that puts you underage. And so she was like, oh, whoops, sorry. I'm 30 and I have only 10 years of experience in the BDSM community.
The age thing is, that's the real problem. That's
the real problem is men fetishizing younger women because they're afraid of old pros that know their shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, who's going to say that would be my Eros profile. I have 10 years of experience in BDSM. Also, I have 10 years of experience.
I have 20 years old.
And I have 10 years of experience in fucking herds of virgin bulls. Those are my 2 jobs that I had. I could beat the shit out of you. I also taught young virgin bulls how to fuck.
Oh man, we want to hear from you. So please email us at theoldestprofessionpodcast@gmail.com. We know that it is onerous. We are so sorry. It's easier if you go to our website, which is also theoldestprofessionpodcast.com. Yeah, shoot us a link. We're on Facebook now, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for help. If you're an old pro, you've got some time, and you know shit about social media that obviously Wendy and I don't, please email us. We're looking to hire somebody. So this is a real job. Please shoot me an email. We'll start a conversation, but we're looking for a social media manager and some help getting the word out.
Yeah, I deeply hate looking at my phone.
Yeah, I also want to reduce the time on that and more time looking for witches, but like in a good way. Not in an irritating way. Please, if you have any information, if you know of some sex worker witches, shoot us an email. And of course, tell us your stories, ask us your questions. We love hearing from you. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Old Pro Podcast. Anything else? What am I forgetting?
We could do our personal. Well, I want to. Hey, ladies, if you're getting on a plane, don't wear a dress, huh? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. But this is how that shit happens, right? So they start getting witches, right? And the insidious effect of that is that every woman starts self-censoring,
wearing pants. And I don't like
wearing sweatpants. No makeup.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
And then
we start self-censoring or we're punished. And it's crazy.
And then when we start dressing down so we don't get arrested for being a fucking prostitute on a goddamn plane.
We're treated like poor people.
We get back to our boyfriends or our girlfriends and we look like shit. We look like in the joke,
and
the
then
first
we get kicked
Batman.
out of the house.
Right.
And now it's an epidemic.
And now we gotta be hookers.
Where
or
does it
witches.
end?
It's a vicious cycle.
Vicious cycle.
Let us wear dresses on planes. My social media, if you want to follow me, is on Twitter at Wendy Starling. My Instagram is at WendyBird82. I have a website. It's not updated. I post my shows on there sometime. We're going to get it all figured out.
Yeah. No, I'm in the same boat. I also technically have a website. It has no useful or updated information on it. I built it. Somebody else built it for me in 2011. We're no longer speaking, so I have no idea how to update my own website.
The show website is great, though.
Yeah, the show website's great.
The pod website is fucking banging.
And once we'll get tour dates together, Wendy and I are going to try to tour in the next year. So if you want us to come to your city, shoot us an email. We can put a sex worker stand-up show together for you, maybe.
Yeah.
I am on Twitter at KAYTLIN Bailey. I have a website. You shouldn't go. Don't do that. I am also, I think, technically on Instagram, also KAYTLIN Bailey. But that is also just a crock of shit. So, whatever. Twitter's my favorite medium. What's your favorite medium? Like, what's your favorite way to communicate with your fans?
Oh, I was gonna say the chick from Long Island.
Who would have 100% been burned as a witch like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, and we need help on social media. So I mean, hit us up. Let us know. We pay you. We'll see. We'll look at our budget. For right now, might be an intern thing. If we can't pay well, I'll give you my grandmother's old abortion recipe.
Perfect.
Right?
We're going to trade in old abortion recipes. But reach out to us. Tell us your stories. Ask us your questions. Tell us why you want to work for us. And mostly, just keep listening.
Yes. Thank you so much.
This has been
The Oldest Profession.